Three words define my life: light from darkness. I get the brightest insight from hardships. The steepest incline makes me climb the farthest. From the scars to rhymes that line the artist. The challenge seeds growth that's mine for harvest. Lux ab Tenebrae, light from darkness. Now the most I've grown was from facing problems, from accepting to solving, and the acknowledgement of what goods become of their involvement. At first they broke me down like solvents, and yet through repetitious tries I cleared the shadow that eclipsed this life. Now it's brighter than the envisioned light. I didn't know until after to give it time. I learned to find happiness when I lived in strife. I came to appreciate life when my older brother died. I learned much closeness through isolation. I learned to love more when I was hated by the same one I'd loved and made it. I near thought that I'd make it long enough to see the day I could face this, not seek escape. I found contentment in the deepest way when I started coping with the deepest pain, and I came to focus more on real progression when I uncovered the roots of my deep depression, when I opened up with no repression. What life's broken was fixed with no retention of the old ways that seed aggression. Now my flow's made to teach this lesson, and my book of life I'll keep these sections to reread when hopelessness needs prevention. Now three words define my life: light from darkness. I get the brightest insight from hardships. The steepest incline makes me climb the farthest. From the scars to rhymes that line the artist. The challenge seeds growth that's mine for harvest. Lux ab Tenebrae, light from darkness. I learned independence from my tricolor set. I learned to persevere being deep in my stress. I learned to find my blessing overcoming a curse. I lived in hell to find heaven on earth. I lived through dark times to shine my light. I had to want to die to like my strife. I had to feel emotion to write my lines. I had to face these problems to find insight. I had to learn to cope and maintain this state of faith, hope, and stasis. I had to open up to state it, just to say that life's umbrageous, but we'll find the light someday if we can march on through these shaded places. Keep your head up, it gets better. These dark times can't last forever. It's our gear that don't fit, not harsh weather. It's expressing life, it was not art ever. It's painful to face and it's not scarred, never. But sometimes the scars are our best tethers to hold on to the value of our existence, knowing one day this could all diminish, but our spirit will always survive within this. Compassion, empathy, and our sense of kinship. Because sometimes all that we need to get by is to know that others are feeling this strife, and that despite the darkness we're seeing the light. It'll be alright. These three words define my life: light from darkness. I get the brightest insight from hardships. The steepest incline makes me climb the farthest. From the scars to rhymes that line the artist. The challenge seeds growth that's mine for harvest. Lux ab Tenebrae, light from darkness. And in the end, I gained the most from my losses. I made the most out of what life's costed. I came up the farthest when I got dropped. I found my tempo when my heart stopped. Seeing the darkness of death made me love life's light. Lux ab Tenebrae is how I survived the darkest times to find my way. This artist rhymes define my pain. The hardest strife refines my brain. The darkest nights what lights my days. It's light from darkness, like I say. Lux ab Tenebrae sparks my faith. Even when it's all dark with hate, I know that my heart can wait. I just let the arts elate me, taking a part in fate. Even when all I feel is love, I still hate what I felt, that I need drugs. Bound by chains yet free enough to pass this on to free us. At this point I don't bleed blood, I leak ink to mark these sheets up, compiling my life in concise form. Defining the dark keeps my brain that lights storms. If sobriety is walls, then I seek siege, cause the battery of coping won't deplete. As long as I get a moment's relief, I'll keep pushing on these feet. Cause three words define my life: light from darkness. I get the brightest insight from hardships. The steepest incline makes me climb the farthest. From the scars to rhymes that line the artist. The challenge seeds growth that's mine for harvest. Lux ab Tenebrae, it's light from darkness.